This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners share their wisdom. It's short and to the point because we respect people's time and because we know transforming possibility happens fast and it leads to lasting results. So let's get to it. Question number one. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Katie Switzer. I am a West Virginian. I am a wife and a mother of three, and in March, four children that are all under the age of five. And I run Facebook ads for e-commerce companies.
Very short and succinct. I love it. Very direct. Question number two. What's the best thing about being in business?
I find it really exciting and energizing. I really like helping other businesses to grow and scale. A lot of people talk about scaling, but real scaling takes a level of skill. And I find it really exciting when I get results like when my clients message me and say, you have to turn off that ad because we sold off all of our inventory. And it's just like really cool to see how ads can be like printing money if you do them right. And you're reaching the right clients for your clients. So their customers are happy and your clients are happy. It just gives me a lot of joy.
I love it. Energizing and happiness. And turn off the faucet because you turned it on too strong. Fantastic. I love it. That's a great feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Question number three. We hear from other business owners, they're getting so much business. And I had a couple of people say, like, really? Yes, really, especially in the digital space nowadays with all the shifts that we've made. So we hear that they're getting so much business that the business sometimes causes overwhelm. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Well, I have children, and so that can be overwhelmed in its own. So I think it's really important to just set your priorities and know, what your day is going to look like and be organized and don't let that like procrastination feeling get ahead of you. Just get it done. Just dive into it and get it done. And something that really helped me, I was lucky enough to have a business coach, Gabe Arnold, who really helped me to learn how to hire good people, how to train them, and how to delegate with grace and not just be like a hot mess all the time. And so I would say if you don't know how to grow your business or scale and you need help with hiring or you need help creating training documents, you reach out to someone that you trust and ask them for help. And don't be afraid to pay for that advice because free advice is worth what you pay for it.
You're already dropping massive value. If only people would actually listen to that, that'd be great.
I know, right?
That's awesome. So, in case you missed that, scroll back a little bit and re-listen to that already good value. I love it. Thank you, Katie. Question number four. What other successful business owners, like yourself, of course, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom podcast?
One of my favorite clients, I asked if I could refer them to you. They run a business called Loving West Virginia, lovingwv.com, and they sell West Virginia themed t-shirts and apparel and hats. And they are such cool business owners. Actually, both of the owners are named Evan, a husband and a wife. I call them Evan squared. Secretly, don't share that with them. But they have this really great business about something that they love. They're really passionate about West Virginia. They love sharing their pride in the state. And they have awesome products. They like partner with graphic designers from West Virginia. So it's like a totally local business and they just have really great stuff. So I recommend you connect with them because they're really interesting couple and their business is growing and it's exciting.
Fantastic. So little slight diversion here, but I just went through West Virginia. I love going through the Blue Ridge Mountains during the change of seasons. And I just did that last week. One of my favorite places during this time of year. Fantastic. So I love hearing that. So thank you. Question number five. Let's get to some wisdom. Let's get to some value, right? What would you share with other business owners? What wisdom would you share with them?
So I think a lot of people who want to run business like Facebook ads don't realize how the process really works. They think it's based on whoever's the highest bidder gets the client or the lead or whatever it is that your objective is. The secret to really successful Facebook ads is that
the secret, pay attention, the secret.
Nice. So when Facebook is trying to decide who wins a bid auction, right? They're going to look at not just the audience that you choose and be comparing you against your competitor who's also bidding for that same audience, but they're looking at your price of your bid and the quality of your ad content. So just throwing out like copy against the wall like spaghetti is going to cost you a lot more per lead than if you actually have copy that's interesting and fun and talks about your product and talks to your audience instead of at them. And so remembering that the bid auction isn't just based on price is important. The other thing that I wanted to share with a lot of business owners is they fall into the trap of trying to spread their audience against or spread their budget against too many different variables to test things. So don't run 12 different audiences with 3 different copy and 4 different images all under the same budget, even if you're using CBO. You really want to look at how much you're willing to spend and do try to hit that 50 events of whatever your objective is per week if you can. It's not a hard and fast rule. I get great results with clients who aren't hitting those 50 events per week all the time. But if you're new to it, kind of use that. Like if you're going to be less than half that, I would back your objective up and try to hit something different. Like instead of hitting purchases, go for add to carts, or instead of going to add for carts, look for view content, just to kind of back it up and get more of that audience in there that's more affordable and give the Facebook AI more information to optimize. Because if you limit too much and you don't give Facebook enough of a leash to decide who to serve the ad to, it's not going to do very well for you. And so spreading your budget too thin against all of those variables is going to make it a lot harder to know what the winning ad is going to be and what's going to really give you good return on ad spend. So I would recommend that you only test one variable at a time against each other and only 2 or 3 of that variable, not much more than that, especially if you're spending less than $100 a day. Additionally, when it comes to retargeting, remember that your retargeting is based on the quality of the audience of your cold that's coming in. And so what I typically see with my e-com clients is that of the view contents, 20 to 30% of them are adding to cart and 5% of them are purchasing. So that's a rule of thumb to kind of tell you if your ad is doing well or not. And if you're not meeting kind of in that range, then you need to either adjust your copy or you need to improve the copy on your landing page. It might not be the ad. If you're getting lots of view to content, but you're not getting a lot of people adding to cart or purchasing, either you're not realizing that you're not actually advertising in your ad what is on your website, or your landing page isn't giving people enough information to make them want to buy. So I see that really often. I've had several clients that sell like information products and they think that they're selling one thing. Like I had a company that sells software for Montessori schools and they thought that they were selling training to help Montessori schools market, but they were actually getting leads that were coming in for people who wanted to be Montessori teachers because the copy wasn't clear about what they were selling and the copy on the landing page was also kind of eh. And so that was like a lesson learned for me to make sure that you really say, this is what I'm selling. I'm selling marketing training, not Montessori teacher training. And so that can be something that's easy to overlook. And you might not realize you're having that message to market mismatch of who you really want. The last thing that I would say is that the majority of very large companies, like $1 million plus revenue for either annual or even monthly, more than 50% of their income and revenue is coming from JVs, like joint ventures and referrals. So if your company is growing and scaling, you really shouldn't be expecting to use your ads to bring in more than 20% of your revenue. They should be mostly used for that cold traffic. And so if you're a smaller company and you're looking forward, you want to be building your leads because your email remarketing and your ability to retarget people is where your money comes in. And you can't just look at that first purchase that you get and celebrate, because you're really going to be able to scale if you start to deliver the positive customer experience on the back end that creates you repeat customers. And once you're doing that, you want to turn those repeat customers into referrals. And that's kind of the secret that these big companies like ClickFunnels and those guys don't really tell you, is it's not about making that first sale. It's about really delivering a great product to the customers so that they become repeat customers and they give you referral customers, because that's where your money's going to be made. So that's my wisdom to drop.
I love it. I'm still wrapping my head around all that. That's fantastic. I kid you not. The variables, the energy, the practical, I'm super impressed, and I knew I would be. I had no doubt. And thank you for the investment of your time here. You just dropped massive, really practical value that people can put into play today. Today. And that is some real wisdom. So thank you very much. And the remarketing information you shared is fantastic. I love how you gave examples too. So somebody can compare and say, oh, if I'm doing this, it's not quite on the mark. if I'm doing that, then I am hitting the mark. Katie, thank you so much. Let's switch gears for a minute because I believe we could probably talk about business forever, right? But let's talk about
Yes.
something fun for just a moment. What's the most fun vacation you've ever had? I'm dying to know.
Oh my gosh. This is a horrible question for me because we don't go on vacation very often. My husband and I are like super introverts, and with our kids, it's really hard to travel. But I would
And
say
since you
like
live in West Virginia, you don't have to go on
it's
vacation, right?
beautiful here. Yes, it is beautiful here. I mean, I think we really enjoy going to the beach every year. So it must be our favorite vacation because we do it every August. We go to the Outer Banks. And my favorite part about that is when we leave our kids with my in laws and we go out to dinner and eat crab until like our stomachs explode. So that's pretty much my favorite part of vacation is getting a break from my kids, who I love, and getting to spend some time with my husband, who I also love a little bit more than my kids.
That is so funny. I love it. I get the humor there, and I totally understand. As a parent, I totally understand. So that's awesome. And I love the Outer Banks. It's one of the few places I've been in the world that you can just pull up and just grab like your own piece of the beach, right?
Yes.
It's
And what's
fantastic.
awesome is like the place we stay, they rent chairs for the beach, so you don't have to carry your crap out to the beach. They just lay the chairs out for you every morning, and it's worth every penny for the week. It's like
I
it's
love
awesome.
it. I love it. I love it. Katie, thanks for being on. I really appreciate you. What's the website or social media, or what's the place that when somebody sees this and says, "Hey, I need some of those Facebook ads and I must connect with her," how can they find you?
Almost all of my clients are word of mouth referrals, and I don't have a big social media presence. My website is currently under construction, so the absolute best way to reach me is to just send me an email. It's Katie, Katie, at engineeredmarketing.io.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for being on. This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where owners making five, six, seven, eight. It's not about the money. Of course, that's it. That is important toward freedom, but they're sharing their wisdom globally and creating impact. Thanks for joining us.